3 days had passed since Emma found the letter. 3 days of pretending everything was normal. 3 days of carrying a heavy secret in her young heart. Emma checked the box under her mattress every morning.
The rain
and
fell
every
softly
night.
on the windows
The
of
sealed
Buckingham
envelope,
Palace.
the evidence was still there,
Inside her bedroom,
safe and hidden.
Princess Emma
but
sat
keeping
on
the
her
secret
bed,
was harder
holding
than
an
she
old
thought.
wooden box.
At breakfast,
She was
Emma
only
watched
10
her mother
years old,
carefully.
but tonight
Catherine
she
smiled
felt
and
much
talked
older.
with Prince James
Tonight,
about the upcoming charity
she had
event.
found something
But Emma
that would
noticed
change
things
everything.
she had never
Emma
seen
had been
before.
looking for her
The way
favorite
her
book
mother's
in the
hand
attic.
shook slightly
The
when
attic
Butler
was a
opened the
dusty,
door.
forgotten place
The way she
where
looked
old
at the windows,
furniture and
as if
boxes
expecting someone
sat
to appear.
covered in white sheets.
The way she always
Most
sat
children
with her back
would be
to the
scared
wall.
to go there
Her
alone,
mother was afraid,
but Emma
and
was
now
curious
Emma
and
understood
brave.
why. Emma,
She
are
loved
you feeling
exploring
well?
the palace's
Her father
hidden
asked.
corners.
You have barely
While
touched
searching
your food.
through an old desk,
Emma quickly
Emma
smiled.
found a secret
I am
drawer.
fine, Papa.
It was stuck,
Just
but she
thinking about my
pulled
school
hard
project.
until it opened.
What project
Inside
was
was
that?
a small wooden
Catherine
box
asked
with
gently.
beautiful carvings
We are
of
learning about
roses.
family history.
Her hands shook
Emma
as she
lied.
opened it.
The lie came
Inside
easily,
lay a yellow
which scared her a
envelope
little.
with one word
I wish I could
written
ask
on it.
grandmother more questions.
Truth.
Catherine's
Emma took the
eyes
box
became
to her
sad.
room and locked
I
the
miss
door.
her too, darling.
She sat on
She
her
was a
bed
wonderful woman.
and opened the envelope
She
carefully.
was strong.
Inside
Emma
was a
said,
letter
looking
written in
directly at her
elegant
mother.
handwriting.
She taught
As
me
she
that
read,
sometimes we
her
must be
eyes
brave
grew wider
even when we are
and
scared.
wider. The letter
Something
was from her
flickered in
grandmother,
Catherine's eyes.
the late Queen
A
Margaret,
moment of
who
understanding.
had died 2
Perhaps,
years ago.
but then it was
Emma
gone.
missed her grandmother
Yes,
every
she
day.
did teach us that.
They had been very close.
After breakfast,
The Queen
Emma
used
went
to
to the
tell her
palace
stories
library.
and teach
She
her
needed
how
to
to be
think.
strong
She
and
needed
kind.
to understand.
But this
If her
letter
mother had
contained a
witnessed a
secret,
crime 10
a big
years
secret.
ago,
My
there must be
dearest Emma,
news about it
the
somewhere.
letter began.
Emma searched
If you
through
are
old
reading this,
newspapers on
it
the
means
computer.
you found my
She
hidden
typed in
box.
dates from 10 years
You were
ago
always the
and
clever
read
one.
carefully.
I
There
knew
were
you
many
would find it
stories.
someday.
Royal weddings,
What I am about to
political
tell you
meetings,
must stay
charity
secret
events,
until you are
but
older.
nothing about a crime.
But you deserve
Then
to
she
know the
found
truth
something
about your
interesting.
family.
10 years ago,
Emma's heart
a
beat
famous
faster.
businessman named
What
Richard
truth?
Blackwell had
What
died
secret?
in a car
The
accident.
letter continued.
The article said he was
Your
driving
mother,
alone at
Princess
night
Catherine,
when his car
is not
crashed
sick
into a
like
tree.
everyone believes.
The police said it was an
She
accident.
has been hiding from
but
a
Emma
dangerous
remembered that
man
name,
who wants
Richard
to hurt our
Blackwell.
family.
Her mother
10
had
years
mentioned
ago,
him once.
Before you were
Years
born,
ago,
your mother
Emma had
witnessed
been
a
very
crime.
young,
She saw
maybe
a
5
powerful
years
man
old.
do something
She
terrible.
remembered her mother looking
That
at the news
man
report
is
on
still
television
looking for her.
and saying,
That is why she
"Poor
stays in
Richard.
the palace
He was
and
a good
rarely
man."
goes outside.
Emma
That
printed
is
the
why
article
guards
and
are
hid it
always
in her
near
school
her.
bag.
Emma
Maybe
felt
this was
tears in her
connected.
eyes.
Maybe Richard
Her mother
Blackwell
had always been
was
delicate
important
and
to the
quiet.
secret. That
The
afternoon,
doctor said she had
Emma
a
had
weak heart
tea with her
and
mother in
needed
the garden.
rest.
It was a
But now
beautiful
Emma
sunny
understood.
day. Birds
Her
sang in
mother
the
was
trees.
not sick.
Flowers
Her mother
bloomed
was
in bright
scared.
colors.
The letter
Everything
went on.
seemed perfect.
I protected your
Mama,
mother all these
Emma
years.
said carefully.
But now
Do you remember
I am
a
gone,
man named Richard
and I
Blackwell?
worry about her safety.
Catherine dropped
That
her
is why
teacup
I am writing
and
to
fell
you,
on the grass,
my brave granddaughter.
spilling tea everywhere.
Inside this box,
face
you will
turned white
find
as
another
paper.
envelope.
Where did you hear
It
that
contains
name?
evidence
Emma's
against the
heart
dangerous
raced.
man.
She had made a mistake.
When you are 18,
I
you must give
saw
this
it in an
evidence
old
to the
newspaper.
police.
I was
But
reading
until
about
then,
history.
You must
and
keep it safe.
Emma,
Tell no one.
her mother's voice
Trust
was
no
sharp.
one, not even
Something
your
Emma
father.
rarely heard.
Emma's hands
Why
trembled.
were you reading old
Not even her
newspapers?
father?
Why were you looking
Why?
for that name?
Prince James
I was not
loved
looking
his
for
wife.
it.
He
Emma
would
said
protect
quickly.
her.
I just
Wouldn't
saw
he?
it. The
But
article
grandmother's
said
next words
he died
explained
in
everything.
a car accident.
Your father
knew
does
him,
not
did you
know
not?
the full truth.
Catherine
He
stood up,
believes your mother
shaking.
is
For a
truly
moment,
sick.
Emma
I
thought her
decided
mother would
long
run
ago
away.
that the
But
fewer
instead,
people who knew,
Catherine
the
sat
safer
down
Catherine
again
would
and took
be.
Emma's hands.
But you, my
Her
dear
grip
Emma,
was tight,
have your
almost
grandmother's
painful.
courage.
Listen to me
You
very
can keep
carefully,
the secret.
Catherine
You can
whispered,
protect your mother
looking
when the
around
time
to make sure
comes.
no one was listening.
Emma
Never
put
speak
down the
that
letter
name again.
and looked at
Never
the box
search
again.
for information about
There
it.
was indeed another
Never ask
envelope,
questions
sealed
about what
with
happened.
red wax.
Do you understand?
She did not open it.
But Mama,
She was afraid to see
promise
what
me,
was
Emma.
inside.
Catherine's
A knock
eyes
on
were
the
filled
door
with
made
tears
her
and
jump.
fear.
Emma,
Promise me you will forget that
Dinner
name.
is ready.
It is
It
dangerous.
was her father's voice.
Very dangerous.
Coming, Papa.
Emma saw
Emma
real
quickly
terror
hid the box
in
under
her
her
mother's
mattress.
eyes. This
She
was
wiped
not
her
just
tears
caution.
and looked at
This
herself
was
in the
pure
mirror.
fear. I
She had
promise,
to act
Mama.
normal. normal.
I will not
She
speak of
had
it
to
again.
pretend she knew nothing.
Catherine hugged
At
her
dinner,
daughter tightly.
Emma sat between
I am
her
sorry
parents.
for scaring you.
Her mother,
I
Catherine,
want to keep you
looked
safe.
beautiful in a
There are
blue
things
dress,
in this world that
but her
children
eyes
should not
seemed
know
sad
about.
as always.
But Emma
Her
already
father,
knew.
Prince
She
James,
knew that Richard
talked about his
Blackwell's
meeting with
death
the Prime
was not
Minister.
an accident. She
Everything
knew that her
seemed
mother
normal.
had witnessed
Everything
something terrible.
seemed perfect.
She knew that
But Emma
someone
now
powerful
knew the
had killed
truth.
Richard Blackwell.
Her family was
and her
living
mother
a lie.
had seen it happen.
After dinner,
That night,
Emma went to
Emma
her
could not
mother's
sleep
room.
again. She
Catherine
took out the
was
sealed
reading a
envelope
book by the
and
window.
held it in her hands.
Mama, Can I stay
Inside
with
this
you
envelope
tonight?
was a truth.
Emma asked.
Inside
Her
was
mother
evidence that
smiled
could put a
warmly.
killer in prison.
Of course,
But
darling.
opening it now
Come
would be
here.
breaking her
Emma
grandmother's
climbed
instructions.
onto the bed
The letter
and
said
hugged
to
her
wait
mother tightly.
till she was 18.
She wanted to tell her
Emma
about the
heard
letter.
footsteps in the hallway
She wanted to ask
outside
a
her
thousand
room.
questions.
Quickly,
But
she
grandmother
hid the
had said
envelope
to
under
tell
her
no
pillow.
one.
The
So
footsteps
Emma just
stopped
held
at her
her
door.
mother and said,
Her heart
I
pounded.
love you, Mama.
Was someone listening?
I will always
Did someone
protect you.
suspect? After a
Catherine
long
looked
minute,
surprised.
the footsteps
Protect
moved
me?
away.
Sweetheart,
Emma breathed again.
I am the one who protects
She realized something
you. We can
important.
protect each other.
Someone in the palace
Emma whispered.
might be watching her mother.
That night,
maybe
Emma
even
could
watching
not
her.
sleep.
The
She
dangerous
kept
man
thinking
who
about
killed
the
Richard
letter,
Blackwell
about the secret,
might have
about
spies
the
inside the
dangerous
palace.
man.
That
Who
was
was
why
he?
her grandmother
What
had
had he
said
done?
to trust no
Why
one.
did he want to hurt her
Emma
mother?
got out of bed.
She
and
also
looked at
thought
herself
about
in
her
the mirror.
grandmother.
She was
The
only
queen
10
had
years
carried
old,
this heavy secret
but she had
for
to be
years.
smart like an adult.
She had
She had to
protected
protect her
Catherine
mother.
without anyone knowing.
She had to keep the secret.
She had been
for
so
8
strong,
more years.
so clever.
But how could a child
Now
fight
that burden
against a
had passed
powerful,
to Emma,
dangerous man?
a 10-year-old
How could she
girl
protect
with a
her mother
secret
from a
that could
killer
destroy
who might
or
have
save
people
her family?
watching them every day?
Emma got out
Emma
of bed
thought about her grandmother.
and looked out the window.
Queen Margaret
The
had
palace
done it for
guards
years.
walked their routes
She
in
had
the
kept
darkness.
Catherine safe
The
while
lights
living
of
with the
London
same fear,
glowed in the
the
distance.
same danger.
Everything
If her
looked
grandmother
peaceful.
could do it,
But
so
Emma
could
now
she.
knew that danger
Emma made
was
a
hiding
plan.
somewhere out there.
First, she would stop
touched the
asking
window
questions
glass
about the past.
and made a silent
Second,
promise.
she would
I
act
will keep the
completely
secret,
normal,
grandmother.
so no
I
one
will
would suspect
protect
she knew
Mama.
anything.
And
Third,
when I turn 18,
she would watch
I will
everyone
make sure
carefully
that dangerous
to see who
man
might be the
pays for what
spy.
he did.
And fourth,
I promise.
most importantly, she
Thunder
would become
rumbled
strong.
in the sky.
She would
Lightning
train.
flashed.
She would learn.
And in that moment,
so that when she turned
young
18
Princess
and revealed
Emma
the truth,
stopped being just
she
a
would
child.
be ready for whatever happened.
She became a guardian
Emma hid
of
the envelope
secrets,
back in the box,
a protector of
and
her mother,
pushed it deep under her
and
mattress.
a girl with a mission
Then
that
she
would
wrote
take
in her
8 long
diary,
years to complete.
Day 3
The
of
question
keeping the
was,
secret.
could
I
she
made a
keep the
mistake
secret
today,
that long?
but I
And
learned
what would
from it.
happen if
I will
someone
be more
discovered
careful.
what she knew?
I will be smarter.
Only time would tell.
I will protect Mama no matter what. Grandmother trusted me with this. I will not fail her. She closed the diary and turned off the light. Tomorrow she would begin her training. Tomorrow she would start becoming the person her mother needed her to be. But tonight, she was still just a scared little girl with the weight of the world on her shoulders. Outside her window, a shadow moved in the garden. Someone was watching. Someone was always watching. And the dangerous game had only just begun. 2 weeks passed. Emma became a different girl. She watched everything and everyone. She noticed small details she had never seen before. The head butler, Mr. Harrison, had worked at the palace for 20 years. He was always polite and proper. But Emma noticed he made phone calls in empty rooms. He spoke quietly, looking around nervously. Was he the spy? The gardener, old Thomas, had kind eyes and always gave Emma flowers. But sometimes Emma saw him standing near the palace windows, staring inside. Was he watching her mother? Even Miss Collins, Emma's tutor, seemed suspicious now. She asked too many questions about the family. She wanted to know where Catherine went, who she talked to, what she did every day. Emma trusted no one. It was lonely and scary, but it kept her alert. One morning, something strange happened. Emma was in her mother's sitting room, reading a book. Catherine was writing letters at her desk. Everything was quiet and peaceful. Suddenly, a servant brought in the morning mail. Catherine sorted through the letters. Then she stopped. Her face went completely white. Her hands began to shake. "Mama, what is wrong?" Emma asked, putting down her book. Catherine held up a white envelope. There was no return address, no stamp. Someone had put it directly in the palace mail. "It is nothing, darling, just some old business." But Emma saw fear in her mother's eyes. "May I see it?" "No," Catherine said too quickly. Then softer, "No, sweetheart, it is boring adult matters. Why did not you go play in the garden?" Emma pretended to leave, but she hid behind the door and watched. Catherine opened the envelope with shaking hands. She pulled out a single piece of paper and read it. Then she gasped and covered her mouth. Tears ran down Catherine's face. She crumpled the paper and threw it in the fireplace. The paper burned quickly, turning to ash. Whatever the message said, it had terrified her mother. Emma's heart ached. She wanted to run to her mother and hug her. She wanted to say, "I know the secret, Mama. I know about Richard Blackwell. I know you are scared. Let me help you." But she could not. Not yet. Grandmother's letter had been clear. Tell no one. Trust no one. That night, Emma waited until everyone was asleep. Then she crept to her mother's room. Catherine was sleeping, but her face looked troubled even in sleep. Emma saw the fireplace where the letter had burned. Only ashes remained. Emma carefully searched the ashes with a stick. Most of the paper was destroyed, but she found one small piece that had not burned completely. On it were 3 words, "I am watching." Emma's blood ran cold. Someone had sent her mother a threat. The dangerous man knew where Catherine was. He was reminding her that he could reach her any time. Emma took the paper piece and hid it in her pocket. Evidence. Proof. Someday this might be important. The next day, Emma made a bold decision. She needed to learn self-defense. If danger came, she must be ready to protect herself and her mother. She went to the palace security office. The head of security was Captain Williams, a serious man with gray hair and sharp eyes. He had protected the royal family for 15 years. "Captain Williams," Emma said with her most royal voice, "I would like to learn self-defense." The captain looked surprised. "Self-defense, Your Highness? That is unusual for a young princess." "My grandmother always said a princess should be strong in body and mind," Emma replied. "I want to honor her memory by learning to protect myself." Captain Williams smiled slightly. Queen Margaret was indeed a wise woman. "Very well. I can arrange lessons with one of our female guards. Would that be acceptable?" "Yes, thank you," Emma said. But inside, she was thinking, "I need to know if I can trust you, Captain Williams. Are you loyal to my family, or are you the spy?" The self-defense lessons began the next week. Emma's instructor was Officer Sarah Chun, a small but incredibly strong woman who had trained in martial arts for 20 years. Self-defense is not about being the strongest, Sarah taught. It is about being smart, using your opponent's strength against them, knowing when to fight and when to run. Emma learned quickly. She was young and flexible. Every kick, every block, every move brought her confidence. She was not just a helpless princess anymore. During one lesson, Sarah said something interesting. "Princess Emma, may I ask why you suddenly want to learn these skills?" Emma had prepared an answer. "I read a book about Queen Elizabeth I. She was strong and independent. I want to be like her." Sarah nodded. "A good role model. But remember, true strength is not just physical. It is mental. It is keeping your mind sharp and your emotions controlled, even in danger. Have you ever been in real danger?" Emma asked. Sarah's face became serious. "Yes, several times. Once, I protected a woman who was being threatened by a dangerous criminal. He sent her letters, watched her house, followed her everywhere. She was terrified." Emma's heart raced. "What happened to her?" "We kept her safe until we gathered enough evidence to arrest the criminal. It took 2 years. 2 long, difficult years of constant fear. But she was brave. She never gave up. And in the end, justice won." Emma felt hope for the first time in weeks. "So even when someone powerful and dangerous is hunting you, you can still win?" Sarah looked at Emma with curious eyes. "Yes, princess. With patience, courage, and the right help, you can always win." "Why do you ask?" Emma shrugged, trying to look innocent, just curious. It sounds like an interesting story. But inside, Emma was thinking, 2 years. That woman only had to wait 2 years. I have to wait 8 years. Can Mama stay safe for 8 more years? That evening, Emma wrote in her diary, "Day 17 of keeping the secret. Mama received a threatening letter. I found a piece that said, 'I am watching. The killer is still out there, still hunting, but I am getting stronger. I am learning to fight, and I am learning to be patient. Officer Chin said justice always wins in the end. I have to believe that. I have to believe that in 8 years, when I am 18, I will be strong enough and smart enough to protect Mama and bring the killer to justice. Grandmother, please watch over us. We need your strength now more than ever." Emma looked at the box under her mattress. 8 years felt like forever. 8 years of secrets, fear, and pretending. 8 years of watching everyone with suspicion. 8 years of protecting her mother, without her mother even knowing. But Emma was determined. She would survive those 8 years. She would become strong. She would keep the secret. And when the time came, she would make sure Richard Blackwell's killer finally faced justice. The game was far from over. In fact, it was only beginning. 6 months had passed since Emma found the secret letter. She was now 11 years old and much stronger. Her self-defense training had made her quick and confident. But more importantly, she had learned to control her fear. Emma had also been watching carefully. She had made a list of suspicious people in the palace. Mr. Harrison, the butler, was at the top. His secret phone calls continued. Old Thomas, the gardener, was second, and Miss Collins, her tutor, was third. But today, Emma discovered something that changed everything. It was a rainy afternoon. Emma was walking past her father's study when she heard voices inside. The door was slightly open. She knew she should not listen, but something made her stop. "Your Highness, I must speak with you about the Princess Catherine," a man's voice said. Emma recognized it. Captain Williams, the head of security. "What about my wife?" Her father, Prince James, replied. "I have noticed increased security concerns. Strange letters arriving. Unknown cars near the palace gates. I believe someone may be watching Her Highness." Emma's heart pounded. Captain Williams knew, but was he trying to help or was he the spy? "Catherine has always been delicate," Prince James said. "Perhaps you're being too cautious." "With respect, sir, I have been protecting this family for 15 years. My instincts are rarely wrong. I believe the princess may be in danger." There was silence. Then Prince James spoke, his voice heavy. "Catherine has been through much in her life. 10 years ago, something happened. Something she never talks about. She has nightmares. She is afraid of strangers. I have always wondered what caused this, but she refuses to tell me. Perhaps, sir, if you asked her directly." "No," Prince James interrupted. "I will not force my wife to relive painful memories. If she wants to tell me, she will. Until then, I trust you to keep her safe, Captain." "I will, sir, with my life." Emma heard footsteps approaching the door. She quickly hid behind a large curtain. Captain Williams walked past, his face serious and determined. Emma watched him go. Her mind was racing. Captain Williams suspected something. He was trying to protect her mother. But did he know about Richard Blackwell? Did he know about the killer? Emma needed to find out. But how? That night, Emma made a dangerous decision. She would sneak into the security office and look at Captain Williams's files. It was risky. If she was caught, she would be in serious trouble. But she had to know if he could be trusted. At midnight, Emma crept out of her room. The palace was dark and quiet. Guards walked their routes, but Emma had memorized their patterns. She moved like a shadow through the hallways. The security office was locked, but Emma had watched Officer Chin unlock it many times. She knew where the spare key was hidden, behind a loose brick near the door. Emma's hands shook as she unlocked the door. The office was dark except for the glow of computer screens. Files were stacked on desks. Security monitors showed different parts of the palace. Emma went to Captain Williams's desk. She opened the drawers carefully, looking through papers. Most were boring reports about guard schedules and security checks. Then she found a locked drawer. Emma used a hairpin to pick the lock, a skill she had learned from watching spy movies. After several tries, the lock clicked open. Inside was a thick folder labeled Classified, Princess Catherine Security Concerns. Emma opened it with trembling hands. Inside were photographs, newspaper clippings, and handwritten notes. Her eyes widened as she read. Captain Williams had been investigating. He had found the same newspaper article about Richard Blackwell's death. He had marked it with red ink. Not an accident? There were photos of a man in a dark suit watching the palace from across the street. More photos of the same man at royal events, always in the background, always watching. And then Emma saw something that made her blood freeze. A note in Captain Williams's handwriting. Suspect, Lord Victor Ashford. Powerful businessman. Connection to Richard Blackwell. Possible motive for surveillance of Princess Catherine. Cannot prove anything yet. Must gather more evidence before approaching Prince James. Lord Victor Ashford. Emma knew that name. He was a wealthy man who donated money to charities. He came to palace events sometimes. He was always polite and smiling. Her father trusted him. But Lord Victor Ashford was a killer. He was a dangerous man who had murdered Richard Blackwell. He was the one hunting her mother, and he walked freely in the palace, pretending to be a friend. Emma's hand shook so badly she almost dropped the folder. She quickly took photos of the important pages with her phone, then put everything back exactly as she found it. She locked the drawer and left the office, her heart racing. Back in her room, Emma looked at the photos on her phone. Captain Williams was on her side. He was trying to protect her mother, but he did not have enough evidence yet. Neither did Emma. The sealed envelope under her mattress contained that evidence. Emma was sure of it now. Her grandmother had gathered proof against Lord Victor Ashford. Proof that he killed Richard Blackwell. Proof that he was dangerous. But Emma could not open it. Not for 8 more years. Those were grandmother's instructions. 8 more years of letting a killer walk free. 8 more years of watching him smile and shake hands with her father. 8 more years of her mother living in fear. It felt impossible. It felt wrong. Emma lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Tomorrow, Lord Victor Ashford was coming to the palace for a charity meeting. He would be here, in her home, near her mother, and Emma would have to see him, talk to him, pretend she did not know he was a murderer. The next morning came too quickly. Emma dressed in her best blue dress and went downstairs. The charity meeting was in the grand hall. Many important people were there. And then Emma saw him, Lord Victor Ashford. He was tall with gray hair and cold blue eyes. He wore an expensive suit and smiled at everyone, but his smile never reached his eyes. Emma watched as he approached her mother. Catherine's face went pale. Her hands trembled, but she smiled politely and shook his hand. "Princess Catherine, you look lovely as always," Lord Ashford said smoothly, "though you seem tired. Are you feeling well?" "I am fine, thank you," Catherine replied quietly. "Good, good. We would not want anything to happen to you." His voice was friendly, but Emma heard the threat hidden in the words. Emma stepped forward. "Lord Ashford, I am Princess Emma. I have heard much about your charity work." Lord Ashford turned his cold eyes to her. For a moment, something flickered in his gaze. Calculation. Assessment. Then he smiled. "Princess Emma, you have grown so much. You look just like your grandmother, Queen Margaret." Emma felt a chill. Did he know? Did he suspect that grandmother had left evidence against him? "Thank you," Emma said, keeping her voice steady. "Grandmother taught me many things. She said the truth always comes out eventually. Evil people always get caught in the end." Lord Ashford's smile faded slightly. Wise words, though sometimes the truth takes many years to surface. "I am patient," Emma said, looking directly into his eyes. "I can wait as long as necessary." For a long moment, they stared at each other, a silent battle. A killer and a child who knew his secret. Then Lord Ashford laughed and walked away. But Emma saw his hands clench into fists. Catherine grabbed Emma's arm. "Why did you speak to him like that?" "Like what, Mama?" "Like you were challenging him." "Emma, that man is dangerous. Stay away from him." Emma hugged her mother. "Do not worry, Mama. I know exactly how dangerous he is, and I will protect you. I promise." That night, Emma added a new entry in her diary. "I met the killer today, Lord Victor Ashford. He knows I suspect something, but he cannot prove it, just like I cannot prove his guilt. Not yet, but in 8 years, everything will change. In 8 years, I will be strong enough, smart enough, ready enough, and then, Lord Ashford, you will finally pay for what you did." The countdown had begun. 0.8 years later, everything changed. Emma was now 18 years old. She was no longer a scared little girl. She had grown into a strong, intelligent young woman. Years of training had made her confident and brave. Years of watching had made her careful and smart. Today was her 18th birthday. The palace was decorated with flowers and ribbons. Guests would arrive in the evening for a grand celebration. But Emma had something more important to do first. She locked her bedroom door and pulled out the old wooden box from its hiding place. For 8 years, this box had stayed under her mattress. For 8 years, she had protected its secret. Her hands were steady as she opened it. The sealed envelope was still there, the red wax unbroken. Emma took a deep breath and broke the seal. Inside were documents, photographs, and a USB drive. Emma's heart raced as she looked through them. There were bank records showing Lord Victor Ashford paying money to Richard Blackwell. There were emails between them discussing illegal business deals. There were photos of them meeting in secret. And then Emma found the most important thing, a video file on a USB drive. She plugged it into her computer. The video started playing. It was old and grainy, filmed from a hidden camera. Emma recognized the location, a warehouse by the river. In the video, 2 men stood arguing, Richard Blackwell and Lord Victor Ashford. Their voices were angry. "I will not help you anymore," Richard shouted. "What you're doing is wrong. I am going to the police." "You'll do no such thing," Lord Ashford said coldly. "You know too much. If you go to the police, I will destroy you." "Then destroy me," Richard said bravely. "I would rather lose everything than help you hurt innocent people." Lord Ashford's face turned dark with rage. He pulled out a gun. Richard's eyes went wide with fear. "No one threatens me," Lord Ashford said. Then he shot Richard Blackwell. Emma gasped. She watched as Richard fell to ground. She watched as Lord Ashford made a phone call. Minutes later, other men arrived. They put Richard's body in his car. They drove it away. Later that night, news reported that Richard Blackwell died in a car accident. But it was murder, cold-blooded murder. And then Emma saw something else in the video, a shadow moving in the corner. Someone else had been in that warehouse. Someone had witnessed everything. The camera angle shifted slightly, and Emma saw her, a younger Catherine, hiding behind boxes, her hand over her mouth to stop from screaming. She had seen everything. She had witnessed Lord Ashford commit murder. Now Emma understood completely. Her mother had been in the wrong place at the wrong time. She had seen a powerful man kill an innocent person. And for 10 years, she had lived in fear that Lord Ashford would find out and kill her too. Emma's grandmother must have helped Catherine hide the evidence, must have protected her all those years. And before she died, she had given that responsibility to Emma. Emma dried her tears and made copies of everything. She put the originals in a safe place. Then she called Captain Williams. "Captain, I need your help. I have evidence of a serious crime. Can you come to my room immediately and bring the police commissioner with you?" 2 hours later, Emma sat in a private meeting room with Captain Williams, Police Commissioner Davis, and her parents. She laid out all the evidence on the table. 10 years ago, Lord Victor Ashford murdered Richard Blackwell. Emma said clearly, "My mother witnessed it. My grandmother helped her hide the evidence until it was safe to reveal the truth. That time is now." Prince James stared at his daughter in shock. "Emma, what are you saying?" Catherine had tears streaming down her face. "It is true, James. I saw him kill Richard. I was so scared. I thought if I told anyone, Lord Ashford would kill me too. Your mother, Queen Margaret, protected me. She gathered this evidence and hid it. Why did you never tell me?" James asked, his voice broken. "To protect you," Catherine whispered, "and to protect Emma. The fewer people who knew, the safer we all were." Commissioner Davis examined the evidence carefully. "This is solid proof. The video, the documents, everything. We can arrest Lord Ashford today. He is at the palace," Emma said. "He is invited to my birthday celebration tonight. He thinks he is safe. He thinks he has gotten away with murder for 10 years. Captain Williams smiled grimly. "Then tonight, justice will finally be served." That evening, the birthday celebration began. Guests arrived in beautiful clothes. Music played. Everyone was happy and laughing. Lord Victor Ashford arrived exactly at 8 o'clock. He wore his usual expensive suit and false smile. He approached Emma and bowed. "Happy birthday, Princess Emma, 18 years old. You are a woman now." "Yes," Emma said calmly, "old enough to know the truth. old enough to seek justice. Lord Ashford's smile faded. What do you mean? I mean Richard Blackwell, Emma said quietly. I know what you did. His face went pale. I do not know what you are talking about. Yes, you do, and so do the police. At that moment, Commissioner Davis and 6 police officers entered the ballroom. The music stopped. Everyone turned to look. Lord Victor Ashford. Commissioner Davis announced loudly, "You are under arrest for the murder of Richard Blackwell." The ballroom erupted in gasps and whispers. Lord Ashford tried to run, but officers surrounded him. They handcuffed him as he shouted denials. Emma watched calmly. 8 years of waiting. 8 years of keeping the secret. It was finally over. As the police led Lord Ashford away, he looked back at Emma. "You were just a child," he said in disbelief. "How did you—" "My grandmother taught me to be patient," Emma replied. "She taught me to be strong. She taught me that justice always wins in the end." She was right. After the police left, Emma went to her mother. Catherine was crying, but this time they were tears of relief. "It is over, Mama," Emma said, hugging her. "You are safe now. He can never hurt you again." "You kept this secret for 8 years?" Catherine asked in amazement. "You were only 10 years old." "I promised grandmother I would protect you. I kept my promise." Prince James joined the embrace, holding his wife and daughter. "I am so sorry you both had to carry this burden alone, but I am so proud of you, Emma. You are the bravest person I know." That night, Emma stood at her window, looking at the stars. She thought about her grandmother, Queen Margaret, who had protected her family with courage and wisdom. She thought about Richard Blackwell, who had finally received justice. She thought about her mother, who could finally live without fear. And she thought about herself. The scared 10-year-old girl who had found a secret letter had grown into a strong young woman who had brought a killer to justice. Emma opened her diary and wrote one final entry. 8 years ago, grandmother gave me a mission. Today, I completed it. Lord Victor Ashford will spend the rest of his life in prison. Mama is free from fear. Justice has won. I learned that even a child can make a difference. Even a small person can protect the ones they love. Even in the darkest times, hope and courage can light the way. Thank you, grandmother, for trusting me. I hope I made you proud. The secret is revealed. The truth has set us free, and our family can finally heal. Emma closed the diary and smiled. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new adventures. But tonight, she celebrated. Not just her birthday, but the end of fear and the beginning of freedom. The little princess who had carried the weight of secret had become a queen in her own right, a queen of courage, patience, and justice. And her story would be remembered forever. The end.